Hello everybody, I just want to, sometimes they do quick updates, and this I'm just going to post right to Facebook. I don't have all my stuff with me that I usually, my laptop or nothing today, or I had it earlier. I have this is a spot I like here. It's the highway going, I used to look at this house. I wanted to, one time I wanted to buy this little house. But I have a teaching video. I do these because they're therapeutic for me. But I have a teaching video that's going to go up. I worked on it this morning, and I got to add some verses. And I know I uploaded one today. And the one that's going to go up, I think I titled it "The Ants." It's actually a lot on that video, but you'll see when you see it. Today, and I'm not going to get too personal with all the family things that people have, family situations a lot of times. But, when I grew up in New Jersey, my sister, who died in 2013, who I love, struggled with heroin addiction her whole life. And there's a lot of things, even when I was young. I left my house when I was 17, joined the Navy, and might have just turned 18, and then left New Jersey, and I never went back. Thought I was a few years ago. But there are a lot of things in those households, those of you who know that. I'm almost 3 years sober. I just stopped at Stripes, little corner store here in Texas, and some girl, homeless girl, "Can I have 70 cents for the bus?" I said, "Sweetheart, I'd give it to you." And I talked to her for about 20 minutes. She knew some of the people I knew, and she's up from the other side of town. But in family situations, people deal with all types of things. You're going to hear me complain a little bit on the video that's going to probably go up tomorrow. If I can finish it, I have to still get my stuff. I don't have my laptop with me. But in those situations, and some of you who have been, dealing with addiction, you probably have done those things to other people. And I'm sure I have when I was alcoholic, you drunk or high or whatever, or dealing. But so today there's a lot of, I try to explain to people that I can do all I can to help, whether it's certain situations or, I said, but sometimes, because I grew up in a situation like that, and you do your best, you try your best. Addicts and alcoholics, they're repressed in their development. They don't see things as, a lot of times when I grew up, and over many years when my sister Laura was struggling with addiction, she had a lot of arguments, very bad arguments, sometimes physical confrontations with my mother, and I was familiar with. And the addict sometimes does not see, they see like maybe it's our house, and the adult sister did not realize she was living in her mother's house. Eventually my father, he divorced and left after many, many years. He's a retired fire captain from New Jersey. But that did play a role. It did play a role because it was many years of actual fighting, and over the end, physical things, physical confrontations. And that's difficult when you have that type of, the car I'm in was my sister's car. So without being too, everything, that's a big thing today. I'm talking a little on the teaching videos about difficulties you go through, struggles, trials. Oftentimes, in my life, I liked this house. I didn't even plan on stopping at this one, but I liked it because when I look at a property, I look at a spot where I can have a prayer spot. Like I'm going to get up early in the morning and it's got to have a spot where I can pray. That's what I look for. But it's important, more important than anything else, that I have a spot where I can get like a yard or something. That's what I look at. And I used to look at this one. It's not been for sale. And I thought, when are they going to finally put it for sale? But it's just been no trespassing sign, and it's been abandoned, not rented. A homeless friend of mine, Mike, I don't know where Mike is. He grew up here. This is like Cal Allen. He told me, oh yes, he knew who owns it. Some people that they own a big electric company. They own property all over. And he knew this property. Yes, John, it's the highest altitude property in Corpus, which I kind of believe. And I liked it because when I was shopping for homes a few years ago, I thought, man, this would be great. And I just stopped here to make this. And I just wanted to share that as a little update. It's a little different. I did not see any of the guys today, but I did do some work on the teaching that we're going to do. Okay? And this is good, I think, also for people. You know, a lot of times when we do ministry and preaching, and you don't always see all the problems people go through. And I thought that was a disservice over time, because if we're so image conscious, then the people that struggle in life, they might get an image that is not a correct one or a real one of real life struggles that people go through. And then sometimes you don't hear about the more prominent teachers or preachers until there's a big, huge fall. And then you say, oh my, because there's a culture in the New Testament. One of the girl I was just talking to, this is going to go too long, I don't want to just, she said she knew some of the people from NA. One of the good things about AANA is that, and it's a Christian principle, it's based on Scripture. A lot of people, that's why I was always critical. Some of the people that are in AA would say, I tried the church and the church didn't work, but AA worked. And I try to say, actually, the biblical definition for church is an open community of people who are honest with one another. It's not really a place where you go to hear preaching. And I try to explain that. If this becomes teaching, I'll still upload it on Facebook, and then I'll do a teaching. I said, but that's really the biblical definition. And the founders of AA, originally they were in other names, I think the Oxford Group and the James Group. Why James? Why was that a name? From the letter of James in the New Testament, which actually says, confess your faults one to another and pray one for another. It's where that principle you see. When I did the meetings in the beginning, I said, oh, this is good. I said, because it's showing many of the addicts how to live honest lives. And in the church, I have found a lot of the people in the AA were much more honest and open, especially in that principle, than you see in the church. The church setting oftentimes is not conducive for that, because this is ecclesiology, because the church setting, we often see it more as like a place where you go and then people are speaking, from a pulpit or a stage. It's not saying that's not beneficial, but that's a very limited view. In some churches, I'll give them credit, they try to do home groups and things of that nature in order to develop more of a relational family. But that's an important thing that we all do in ministry. You guys have followed my site for a few years now, and you've seen a lot. You've seen a lot. I had to stop and do an update. I'm trying to do little ones like this, and maybe we'll do a teaching. I'll post that one tomorrow. God bless everybody. Beautiful out here. I like that house. Pray, maybe it'll come up for sale.